All right, mic check, cam check. What is up, y'all? I feel great soon. Is that Josh on YouTube? What's up? Um, wait, what did I miss call? Um, all right. Well, Crafty, what's up, man? Peacha, psychedelic things humans do. So this will be a rather short stream. Sorry about yesterday as well. I actually really wasn't feeling well at all yesterday, so I just didn't literally do anything. Moonstar was happening. Nah, but maybe Crafty could probably understand, but like for whatever strange reason, I have been like having like a lot of back pain, like lower right back pain, which is like right on the opposite side or right on the it's like behind where I had the surgery in front, basically, for the hernia surgery. So I don't know if it's related, but it's been going on for about a month. And usually I'm thinking, like little pain or back pain or whatever like that. It comes and goes as you're getting older, kind of normal stuff, I guess, right? What up, Machine? Appreciate the sub. So I'm thinking, okay, it'll just kind of come and go, or whatever. But this one's been sticking around for like a month straight, like consistently, like 24/7, like nagging. And I can't remember, I can't think of anything I did do because I would have known if I did something and pulled my back or something. Like I would have known. I would have been like, all right, yeah, that hurt. Whatever that was, that hurt, right? But nah, nothing like that occurred or happened. So I'm gonna have to go get that checked out and kind of see what happened. We're just old, man. No, it's just like constantly nagging. It's like it's not even like oh, I moved too much or like I moved at all because I'm 40. It's like it just exists because it exists. Could be kidney stones. Um, I don't know what kidney stones feel like. Um, but like I don't drink like a lot of water. I drink juices though. I don't really do like a lot of sodas or like alcohol or anything like that. Um, Nor do I put any substance in my body that makes it difficult for my kidneys to process. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what like kidney stones really feel like. I know my brother's had them in a semi recent. Maybe I can ask him and talk to him like what that actually feels like. But I think I'd be in excruciating pain if that was the case. I mean, I'm in pain enough to where it's like, okay, don't do this thing, or maybe change the way you're sitting or change the way you're standing, but not like I'm like on the ground about to cry type pain. I don't think I'm there yet. Um, I'm not there. Uh, I'm supposed to be doing. I think I'm gonna try to do a Guardians set real quick if I can kind of make that happen. It wasn't too serious, but it's been continuous, and I'm wondering if it had anything to do with like just like because I don't even know if it feels like nerve pain or like muscle pain or whatever, or anything to do with like cartilage rubbing or what. I can't tell because I'm still experiencing pain in the surgical area from my hernia. So it's like I can't tell what type of pain this really is. All I know is that combined with the normal pain I experience, it just kind of sucks right now. Um, so enough for me to be like, yeah, let me go schedule an appointment, I guess. if it's just annoying or whatnot, but acute, it's worth looking into. I'll ask my brother about it because he's been dealing with it quite a bit and like semi recent. So I think he'd be able to give me like an idea of like, you know, what to look for or the type of pain I would experience, I guess. Hope it's not that though. Like that ain't good. That is not what I need right now. Just start listening what's going on. No, just some like constant lower right back pain. It's been nagging at me for about a month. I've had it on and off like for some time, but like I just figured that, you know, that's just from, you know, getting older, the normal stuff, right? But this one has been like consistently nagging, whether I do anything or not, which is the worrisome part. And I guess I'm wondering if it has anything to do with, you know, is the pain I'm experiencing from the surgery that I'm still experiencing have anything to do with what's going on in my lower back? It's just all kind of feels like in the same area. Like, you know, you have like the growing pain inside for the hernia like surgery, and like it's like right behind that in the lower back I'm like experiencing this kind of pain. So it's kind of like, yeah, it feels like it's all connected. I guess you could say. I've had my nerves burned from the pain that I have. Well, that's a couple of minutes. Too expensive. What do you, okay, what do you mean by burned? Like, you mean like they burnt the nerves? Is that what you're saying? That sounds awful. Like that maybe I'm thinking of it in like a much different manner. I'm thinking someone is taking like a blowtorch and just like burning your nerves. Like, so when I hear that, that's like what I'm thinking. Um, yeah, it sounds like kidneys. I don't know. Like I uh, I don't know. It just like it's not like on my side though. It's like it literally feels like next to my tailbone, lower back right tailbone almost. Haha, no, it's a surgical procedure. You was awake. You was awake when they blowtorched you. I'm totally messing. They just numbed it really good. Yeah, I gotta figure something out anyways with my nerve pain, man. Like I've been like just dealing with it because I got tired of going, you know, seeing like 7 or 8 different doctors that kept telling me to take painkillers, which was doesn't do anything for nerve pain. So I got tired of just paying out of pocket, you know, to see these people to get nothing done, basically. So I'm like, you know what? Since the likelihood of this being chronic nerve pain for the rest of my life is a thing, why am I continuing to keep paying money for people who don't really know much about the situation or know much about nerves in general to charge me for saying take some Tylenol and Advil? And I'm just like, all right, I can't really afford that on a teacher's salary. It's a laser. You know, like Like, I don't know, maybe it's just my mind, but like, well, I'm not getting any ancient pieces, man. Trying to do this for the glove, like not a single one of them is real ancient yet. Um, that's rough. That. Actually, this one's better. Actually, I don't know. I guess we'll hold on to that one if I can't get a decent ancient one. It was on perks. I've been on like I was offered Gabby Penton, and like that really hasn't done anything. Literally, like nothing. Like all I felt was the side effects. It didn't do anything. Hawaii and Los Angeles say to be careful with those lasers. I'm about to literally like destroy all my mats on this. We'll do one more round, see if I can get something decent. Just curious. For y'all, Gabby Pinson, yeah. Yeah. I just said Gabby Pinson. If you just got here, or if you were in ads, yeah. Yeah, I've been on Gabby Pinson. They haven't recommended what is it? Larika. Someone else actually recommended me that. Like someone else from like stream was like asking me to maybe try to see if I can like get on that. But Gabby Pinson has done nothing. Like literally, I'm on like my third or fourth bottle of trying it. I can't really show it on stream obviously, but yeah, I got like, as you can hear, like a whole bottle left of the fourth refill, and like it has done nothing. You work in the farm? Oh, okay, I know those are popular for it. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Well, how different are Gabby Pinson and like Larika though? What about cranberry juice and water? You know what's funny? You know what? Like when you guys see me drinking stuff on stream, this is basically cran grape. So cranberry and grape juice, I guess, from Ocean Spray. I drink a lot of this. Um, like it tastes so good, which is why I drink a lot of this. Which is why I'm like wondering. I'm like, unless my kidneys are just, or a kidney, uh, cran grape is good. It is good, man. Like I get like was it like the 8-pack off of Amazon because it's like cheaper to get them in bulk or whatever. But I get the 8-pack from Amazon and I just get it delivered. Yeah, but it's so good. Cran grape and Jack Daniels used to be your weakness. Yeah, I just drink it straight up without any extra uh incentives, I guess. You need another game for rotation? Yeah, Sir Duncan. Me too, man. Like that's why I'm like waiting for like Monster Hunter Wilds to actually officially come out because that's gonna be like that game that I feel that fits that need. For me that is. I'm not a pharmacist, so I don't know pharmaceutical but hold on, differences, but I do know they're similar. Because newer and presumably more effective and also probably more expensive. All right. Um Josh says, but is it sugary? Well, yeah. I mean, it has natural sugars. Yeah, my starters knows all long battles not really a thing. Got it. Got it. Understood. All right, we're gonna try to do things with what is it? Guardians, I guess. I'm gonna feel a little certain way about it because I'm trying to do Echoing Fury here. So we'll kind of see if that really works out for me. Get back on the. Wow, it's like the best pants I got. It is the best pants I got. Huh. Okay, well that's not great, but yeah, I guess the best all I can do is roll armor on this one. Last Epoch isn't until April. I think I'm gonna kind of like wait and see how that pans out before I, maybe make the decision to jump into that. But so far, I mean, the roadmap looks promising. Just don't have all res on both of these pieces though. That's kind of what sucks. Okay. Let's see how I feel about this. A Guardian 3, if I were 6. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I don't have a mantle challenge, do I? I do not. I must have like salvaged it. I also don't have another spare Wraps of Clarity either. Shit, don't even know if I can run Guardians in right now. I may have to wait. Wait, where did all my whatchamacalls go? Oh, there are other pieces of gear. Fine. We'll do that, I guess. So I'm gonna hold on to that quiver for future purposes. And yeah, I guess this is it. Down. I'm gonna change this to blade. I'm super squishy. There we go. Except for wild side, now you're just all I get it. I got a game question asked every once in a while. I will crave for 12 to 15 mil on your poopy rogue, and sometimes I get numbers in white. Sometimes you get the same numbers in white. Could be your follower. Could be a wish power of some sort. All right. Anyhow, this game. I'll keep you guys in the loop. I promise I won't just pass away on y'all without y'all at least knowing what's going on. think I got everything. Yeah. How many keys we got? 54. Hey, you two heard what game is this? You know what game this is. What's going on, sir? Long time no see. How you been? I'm just a filthy casual now, man. However, I am going ultra try hard with the Echoing Fury. So super glassy setup, but it's got the raw power. So, and I won't fall asleep while farming. So there is that. D3 resurrected. Oh god. This song is by Kiss of Life. It sounds like a 90s R&B like bop. They actually do it's a K-pop group, but they actually do a lot of like their songs off of their like their albums. The most recent album, it's like a lot like this. They got that old school like vibe to it. Am I playing solo self-found? Not really. I mean, I decided to like not do SSF so I can get power level since I didn't start the season until like a week and a half into. But after I got power leveled, I've been solo ever since, basically. But yeah, kill them all, and his friends helped me out with the power level. Robocop, what's going on? You said you still tryharding in the PoE too? How's the div grind? It's almost hard for me to watch anyone like play PoE 2 right now, like in terms of like the streams are concerned. Only just because everybody's playing the exact same build. Like when I watch Rax play it, he's playing like well, you know, when I watch DM play, he's playing the same same build as what Rax is playing. I guess some of the more popular streamers are like literally just playing the exact same build. Lightning is literally everywhere on the screen. You don't even get to see the mobs because they die as they spawn in. So it's just kind of like, eh. Am I using all skills of my follower? No. I'm using the follower cannot die at the moment. It's kind of all I got. Just keep in mind my Demon Hunter is baby Demon Hunter. So it ain't got all the cool stuff. I'm not augmented. I don't even have max like regular gems. I'm still leveling up legendary gems. You listen to K-pop? I'm a musician. I listen to all genre of music. I don't discriminate any genre. My playlist has everything. K-pop, hip hop. I say like half of my playlist is about like it's pretty much mostly old school hip hop. But the other half is a mixture of everything. There's country, there's Afro-Cuban, there is Latin music, there is I even got some Indian music actually. There's German hip-hop, believe it or not. I mean literally basically almost everything. The only thing my playlist don't have, Josh B, is heavy metal. Not that I dislike heavy metal by any means. I actually do like heavy metal, especially as a percussionist. Heavy metal is very pleasing to the ear. However, it doesn't fit the stream vibe, so I don't have it on my stream playlist. But heck yeah, man. You can laugh at K-pop, man, but they legit, as a musician, they legit have some of the best production value of any genre in the current. So it's really not about the lyrics for me when it comes to K-pop. It literally is just the vibe, like the production value and like how they mix up like their songs and stuff like that. It's like some of the best in the industry for a vibe. It's insane. It's insane how good, especially if you have like a really good DAC and like really good headphones, like really good headphones. We're not talking about like some Beats or whatever or whatnot. You know, we're talking about like, you know, Sennheisers or Barrage Dynamics or, you know, Audis and stuff like that. Like you got, there's just some intricacies in their production that is just absolutely insane. Never played D3 before. Do you think? Do you guys think it's better than D4? I will say that sometimes D4 will have the more appealing I will say that sometimes D3 may have the more appealing season. I guess it really depends on the season. Like I think this season of D3 is probably a little more fun than the current D4 season in terms of like the seasonal content per se is concerned. But that isn't always the case, right? It really depends on literally the season. That's kind of with most action RPGs. Some seasons or leagues they hit it on the, you know, they hit the nail on the head, and then some seasons you're just like, oh god, really, this is what y'all chose for a season. So it's kind of what that is. And this isn't to say that D4's season is bad. I actually think the theme is pretty good itself. However, this particular D3 season is one of D3's best seasons, probably top 2, top 3 season of all time for Diablo 3, which is why you see people come back to play it. Am I Dance of Knives Rogue? No, I actually don't really too much care for Dance of Knives. Dance of Knives and Death Trap are pretty much the two skills I kind of stay away from, just because I don't really enjoy playing either one of them. Yeah, I got you in the music. Oh come on, well I mean no. So like I said, Josh, I like heavy metal. You've been on my stream, right? Like how could Decoy with the sub 2 years in a row and running? Appreciate you. But you've been on my stream, right? Like imagine listening, like being on my stream, and then I'm saying chill vibes, and then you hear Death Clock in the background. Like let's be a little honest here. You know, ain't nothing chill about that. It ain't bad. It's just not chill. It's a brand thing. That's all it is. That is all it is. Right? But you're on YouTube though, so I guess it's probably hard to really understand because, you know, YouTube doesn't get to hear my playlists, unfortunately, because, you know, YouTube rules and stuff. So I'll pick up. Cherry, what's up? Wait, you can play Strafe Pale this season? Yep. Strafe Pale, Strafe, multi-shot. You miss playing your TR Monk, but D4 has its ups and downs. Yeah. Yeah. I just think like action RPGs, man, in general, just need time. It just appears like they just need time to cook. Right? They get released, and they just need time to cook. You know, some years later, it becomes good or even possibly great. But it just appears like the modern the modern action RPG. I mean modern. I mean like anything after Diablo 2, I guess. It just takes time. Path of Exile kind of experienced a very similar thing. It came out, it had a fan base, but it was not a good game when it, when it came out. Only after it, you know, put forth mini leagues and kept most of the league mechanics and stuff like that, did it become like a really good action RPG people, you know, hold it in very high regard. But it took a while. Diablo 3, it took a while. It's had some really bad moments, especially towards the beginning. Even, you know, early ROS, even though that was considered the savior of it, it still had a lot of bumps in the road. If anyone remembers trials were like god awful, man. It was they were so bad. You know, then now we got PoE2 in early access, right? And people loved it at first, and then, you know, once they played it a bit, you know, realized it kind of just needs to cook a bit more, which is fine. That just seems a bit of typical in Diablo. For obviously, as we all know, being here, definitely needed time to cook because, well, it had, you know, it has some ups, but it had considerably more downs than ups. I'm sure you all know. So it's just kind of like, it just seems to, you know, things just need to cook. Apparently, we're never gonna really get. We're not in an age where we get a complete action RPG game until years after it has been released. And that sucks as a consumer, but that just seems to be the reality nowadays. Were you more of a fan of vanilla D3 by chance? It's just out of curiosity. I think I remember playing with you a bit in like vanilla D3. There were definitely some things in vanilla D3 that I kind of missed that I wish was still a thing. That's a whole nother topic though. AG2R was up. He said, "Don't be read me. I got 2 minutes after time." He said, "Man, I crafted a 500 div bow from a blue item. Very nice." I really don't know how much things cost in PoE2. I literally started as a solo self-found dude, so I've never traded in PoE2, so I have no idea about any of that. All I know is that grinding divs is basically the end game at the moment, and everything is basically, you know, you're trading for something. It's really about the divs, right? The divines. Basically, what your character is basically is worth in divines is literally all I know. And it's funny because, like, I had someone in my chat that asked me when I was literally making, like, you know, a self-made build or whatever. Someone was like, "How many divines did that cost? Or does your build cost?" And I'm like, "What do you even mean? Like, what are you even talking?" Like, this is like early PoE2, where I literally, like I said, I don't trade. I didn't know what was going on. It's like, yeah, how many, you know, how much, you know, how much divines did your build cost? And I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? I don't know. Just like, all right. D3, right? When ran a I was just saying Random Chaos. What's my Reaper Souls was best once GRs and Super Sets started. It was trash. Okay. Honestly, one of my favorite times of D3 was Loot 2.0. The patch that happened like 2 weeks before Reaper of Souls came out, which was really awkward considering how good of a patch that was. That they release it so close to literally Reaper of Souls where you don't get to play that patch in vanilla anymore. It's like the most awkward decision they made, but it was actually a really good update to the game. Like I was secretly salty about that decoy. I really was. I think it's because people has gotten so competitive, and the gaming company can't keep up with them. I mean, that's actually not a bad assessment, sure. I also think too, you know, gaming has become more about pleasing the investors versus actually like making a game that people actually want to play. Generally speaking, let me phrase it. I'm gonna say not making a game that people want to play, more so catering to what makes them the most money. I'll put it that way. In which obviously is going to be about pleasing the investors long term. So I really think it's like, you know, this is like honestly like a bad time to be a developer in this entire industry. Unless you can get proper funding by being an indie developer, I think it's just a bad time to be a developer in this industry. It's dual string, 275, 500, plus 2 additional arrows. Very nice. I could never use that though. For the one build that I actually like to play on my ranger. But that sounds insane, man. Sure, the meta lightning builds would be all over that. Can you explain how Impale auto cast when strafing, like the direction is like auto hunger and arrow? It just auto targets basically. But I also manually cast strafe. Sorry, I'm manually cast Impale so I can get extra Impales out for a little bit more damage. You don't have to do that. Most people generally don't do that, but I like to do that because I'm a, you know, filthy tryhard for no reason. I said no reason, but when people are farming, people generally tend to not do that. But no, I mean, once you have the power, it just automatically just shoots out from you, just like Hunger and Arrow does. Josh, what's up, man? Josh just wait. What did Josh do? Josh gifted 1 membership on YouTube. Appreciate you. Oh, Enemy 1 got the gifted membership. Appreciate you, Josh. Someone says, I prefer the Rifts, GR, grounded D3, D4 is still pretty much fun now. That's the thing though, like, I hear that's, you know, much more often like in the past like year or whatever. But before D4 came out, we hated that grind. Like we complain about it just being Rifts and greater Rifts, and that was it. Like we couldn't, I won't say couldn't stand it, but like we were just like, bro, is there anything else we're gonna get besides just greater Rifts the entire time and Paragon leveling and whatnot? And now, like, you know, year and some change after D4, people are just like, oh man, greater Rifts feels so good. Right? Even though they haven't changed or anything per se in that time period. It's just like a different perspective on it now. It's like maybe it wasn't that bad. You know, after, you know, seeing pits and nightmare dungeons and, you know, Abattoir Azir and that stuff, it's like, well, maybe GRs really weren't that bad. It's what it seems like now. Did I start with Impale or did you try multi-shot? I heard multi-shot's good for T16. What? Anything is good for T16, really. Honestly, I mean, things just... It doesn't really matter, honestly. Multi-shot just looks cooler in T16 for sure because it covers a big screen or whatever. But given how fast you're moving, God 6 is still technically better because of purely because of the movement. You're just faster. However, it looks really cool to mow down stuff with strafe multi-shot. But it's T16 though, so it doesn't really matter what you do. As long as you can move fast, it really doesn't matter what you do. But when I actually decide to finally push at some point, you know, when I actually get decent enough gear and augments or whatever, I'll do a small push or whatever. I'm gonna do that with strafe and also multi-shot. Well, strafe and Yui basically, or Impale, Shadow and Yui are the only two sets I'm actually interested in for pushing. I hate the Marauder power. I told myself I would never do it ever again if the season never came back around. I hate that power with a passion this season. So I think it's because of the folks that didn't play D2. See how monotonous it is to kill the same boss 5 trillion times. You know, yeah, there's that. Is that better than what I got? It is. Let's trade that there. Okay, that's a better pair of pants actually. It's not ancient, but it's still better than what I had.
Don't be shy.
Can set the fight on Aki for a follower. Oh yeah, I actually forgot about that.
What a steal.
My pack is
Very true, actually. Literally didn't even think about that. Yeah. Totally slipped my mind. Appreciate you. Let's do that real quick. Throw that on there. Actually, no. It won't let me do it. Oh, wait a minute.
I cannot use that.
No? Huh.
No.
Can't do it on a ring slot. I still gotta get the rest of stuff for her. I literally got her practically naked at the moment. Let me try a different power. See if it's like power related. Nope, still can't do it.
I cannot use that.
Huh? Alright, well. I guess I need a whole nother ring then, because I can't undo it. So alright, well. It's a rip, but that's okay. We're just speed farming. I'll get another one.
A lovely piece. Such a brave.
No circles
Nice.
for a bit. You know, I haven't found a primal yet, actually, except for the level 70 primal.
Could use a new-
I cannot afford that.
I didn't even know I had that thing.
Yours are great because of the feeling. Sound like I'm picking up the purple items, which is your words for killing elites. I barely even hear it, to be honest. I don't like. I kind of just I actually forgot what they sound like. For sure, I guess the leaderboards add a bunch of replay value. I would love to be leaderboard add the pits. You really want a leaderboard add the pits? in D4? Are you sure that's what you want? I mean, we technically have a third-party leaderboard, and most people don't bother with that. I don't think you're gonna have more fun if it was if it was an official leaderboard that is still filled with a bunch of RM tiers. And, you know, like I don't think. Don't get me wrong. It'll be nice to have leaderboards. I just don't think leaderboards are a good idea in the game's current state. Like, it's not gonna make it more fun. You're just gonna hate your life more because now you feel like you have to do it because it's in the game. You're gonna have one clip at a time. Yeah, since you have the aircraft inferiority, that's when you take it off. Then you can wear it. Well, yeah, I'm totally not gonna take that off. I'll just give me another ring. They pissed needed for rework before officially. Yeah, that's what I've been saying that since like Pit first came out. Same thing with the Abattoir Azir thing. Like, you know, you don't tack on the leaderboard to a really shitty system. Like, then you kind of get Gauntlet again, right? Like, Gauntlet was a pretty bad system, even though cool. I mean, neat concept, just wasn't executed well. And then we had a leaderboard for that, and how many people really cared about that? And now we don't even have Gauntlet anymore. Adding it to Pit, you know, will pretty much give, you know, will pretty much be the same thing. I'll put it to you this way: leaderboards in Diablo 3 did not feel good at the start. People look at it now, like, you know, with greater rifts or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, you know, or I guess the past like maybe 4-ish years or whatever. Like, you know, doing leaderboard stuff in Diablo 3, you know, was mostly okay, you know. But for I guess half of this time frame, it was not okay. Like, trials were awful. We couldn't close like the rifts, you know. We had to like lead the game to be able to close the GRs for fishing. Like, leaderboards for D3 hasn't always been a good spot. People forget some of the horrors that, you know, we went through. Well, Elon will be first. I think what makes GR so good is how condensed the content was. D4 had to run Whispers, Piss, Nightmares instead of where D3 is just GRs. But that was actually kind of the problem. That's what we used to complain about, is that all we did was greater rifts. And so we just got tired of greater rifts because that was all that was left to do in the game, basically. Right? So sure, it offered a streamlined experience, but you know, if you're running greater rifts literally just for Paragon, which is kind of all you really did, you know, you know, get burnt out quickly. So awful now. No, man, you're good. It's fine. It's like I said, I'm like ultra casual right now in D3. It's all good. You think next expansion of D4 will introduce a new class? Yep, sure it will. And part of me thinks it's going to be a holy class that is going to look, act, or be similar to the paladin of some sort. I don't have any inside information. I can't see why they wouldn't do that going forward. They already gave us a new class, or a new concept of a class. I think it's pretty much time to bring back, you know, a popular class that, you know, our archetype that doesn't exist in the game right now. So a holy class makes sense. Duchess, what's going on? Sorry, my thing just for some reason. But your boys at Maxroll brought back fun and competition. What, for D3? Or is it just in general? Similar to the Crusader? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think it'll probably be in Blizzard's best interest to just do a Paladin of some. Like, you can change the look a little bit, you know, make them a little maybe darker, like a dark Paladin or something. I don't know, but it better have the word Paladin in it. uh, it will be in Blizzard's best interest to do that. Just saying. You said no in general. I thought I got all games. Oh, okay, cool. But thank you. We definitely appreciate that as we continue to expand to other games, etc. Yeah, everyone keeps asking for it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, at this point, you know, just go ahead and, you know, do the popular thing, get it over with, and then the next expansion after that, if you want to get all, you know, risky and gutsy, sure. But the second expansion should just be what the player wants, what the player base wants. Just do it. Am I gonna play Last Epoch in April? We'll see. The timeline checks out in terms of like what I have to do, like, you know, so I mean, I'm pretty open to do it, if that makes sense. So probably. Thunder Eagle was up. Unpopular opinion time. I think D4 share and Paragon points between characters is a mistake. I enjoy the older seasons where I had to level each character up to 100 much more. I will say that that's definitely an unpopular opinion. I can understand why you say that though. But I do. The change was definitely to make it easier to make alts and play other classes without the grind for Paragon points, in a sense, kind of how like Diablo 3 did it. But I could see, I would honestly say, like, honestly, just the grind to 60 is just so short right now. Or the journey to like T4 in general is just feels very short. But it's hard to say that because it's like while that might be true for a lot of us in here, you know, for over 9% of the player base, that isn't true, right? It's not short for them, but it's short for us. So it might be a little while before I find the Oculus. I could probably gamble for one or something, but
Hello there. Do come back again. Do come back again.
or Mantle channeling.
That is too expensive.
Nice to get that so I can run Guardians. You'll climb back and go, no man, you're good. Twiggy, what's going on, man? How's it going? So many games I already played, like D3. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have jumped to Pee-wee without you and Woody Joe. Oh, okay. So I realized that, and I'm probably in the minority. I always like multiple seasons with several level 100 characters. Now I'm blinking to have an alt to 60 and 250 Paragon points. Yeah, yeah. I just think honestly too, at the same time though, from the Eagle is that like, I just don't think the games, for those who play a lot, I'm gonna keep iterating that. For those who like play a decent amount, I just don't think there's enough vertical progression to sustain the idea of like kind of starting over from like scratch, including your Paragon points. The vertical progression just isn't that, it just isn't interesting enough to hold your attention for something as grindy like that. Yet. I say yet because there's still time, but in the current, no. Now again, like, you know, if you play like maybe 3 hours a week or so, then for sure, right? There's plenty for you to do, considering the, you know, the time restraints, obviously. But if you're someone that can kind of dedicate maybe 10, maybe 15 hours a week or whatever, you're just not gonna get. You're not gonna really be able to kind of keep at it long term. Before, you know, realizing that you don't have much else to really like do with your characters. I just died, didn't I? I did. But yeah, don't worry, Thunder Eagle. I'm usually in the minority in like half of my takes that I do when it comes to things I enjoy about games. I'm like definitely in the minority for quite a few things. Anything good on All Stars? You mean like All Star weekends or? Or am I missing something here? Okay, so I was right. I haven't watched anything today, but I did watch a little bit yesterday. The All Star Celebrity Game was actually kind of hilarious. It's also still like hilarious seeing Kai Cenat out there trying to ball. He was like absolutely terrible, man. Like it was tragically terrible, man. So it was great entertainment. I'll put it that way. From a you know, obviously not serious entertainment standpoint of things. I didn't catch some of the other activities, but I did catch that one. what makes this game series special for me. I'm assuming you mean like the Diablo series, like D3, D4. Is that what you're asking? Honestly, it's really the combat. The combat is kind of what drew me. You know, as a weirdo that I am, I guess, when it comes to this, it was just this smooth, polished gameplay / combat, per se. Maybe not necessarily the gameplay loop, but the combat itself is just really enjoyable. I'm kind of really drawn to games that have great feeling combat. But I used to be a much more competitive player back in the day. When I did RTS games and more fighting games back then. I left that scene to purposely be more casual. AKA the reason why I hopped into action RPGs was to literally not be ultra competitive. But I wanted something with good combat. And so Diablo 3 was that. And Diablo 4 has good combat too as well. Yeah, I'm more forgiving of other stuff if the combat is good. I don't overlook it. I just, one of those things where it's just kind of like I'll side eye the problems, but you know, I'll deal with it if the combat is good. And not everybody's that way, obviously. Some people are just like, you know, this is terrible, that's bad. I can't deal with that. And understandably so. It's, you know, our action RPGs are, you know, it's a loot game. And so if you like, let's say if your loot is bad, then people don't want to play it because your loot is bad, right? Whereas me is like, well, yeah, you know, loot's bad, but the combat's great, so I guess I'll play it, you know, for a bit, I guess. Was I ever a League player? I never really got into like MOBAs like that. The only MOBA I like played was like Heroes of the Storm. And that was it. I didn't really care for League, or we would not mention Dota in this chat. I would never, ever give Dota a chance. Ever. It will always be hated by me for forever and ever. You said RTS was crazy? Yeah. I actually used to be a esports StarCraft 2 player. And was actually for a very short stint a GSLA player. I mean, very briefly. And of course I got kind of knocked out of that, but that was kind of to be expected towards that time of the time frame of the game, you know. Why do I hate Dota? Because it practically ruined my favorite game of all time. So if you know where Dota came from, then you'll know what I'm talking about. How Dota ruined good Warcraft 3? Well, for those who were actually good at the original game, like, you know, Warcraft 3 itself, you know, we have ladders, right? You know, ladders, leader, you know, well, you know, ladder play or whatever. And so finding a game didn't really take too long, right? So finding a game you hook up didn't take too long, even if you had like a high MMR. You know, there's enough people that were playing to kind of like, you know, not keep the search times crazy. But when Dota actually became a thing, and this is gonna sound super elitist, I know, and this was the only time frame where I ever had my little ounce of being an elitist or whatever you want to call it, right? By the time that came around, Dota became really, really popular, and so the search times ballooned to where, like, if you were a good player, you couldn't find a match. Hey, on the strike, people don't know that, Decoy. They don't know that from the original StarCraft. They don't know. The OGs know, but they don't know. But yes, that's where Dota actually really, truly came from. But anyways, with that being said, it would take sometimes it would take like an hour, hour and a half to find a match because people were just, you know, going towards Dota at the time. And the people who still enjoyed Warcraft 3 itself were obviously upset because we were literally like we couldn't really get any matches because people were not playing, you know, people were drifting off to Dota. And so what we would say is that, you know, obviously people are drifting to Dota because they can't play the real game. They can't handle multiple heroes and building a base and strategy and all that and micro. You know, all they can do is just take care of one hero, move one hero around, and that's it. So that's what we used to say all the time. It's like, oh, well, you're playing Dota because you can't hack it at the actual game. And that was the mentality that we had. I look back at it now and like, you know, I feel bad about it, obviously. But, you know, at the time, you know, I was very serious into Warcraft 3 at the time. And yeah. So basically all the scrubs basically jumped to Dota at the time. Yes, I said it. Because that's how I looked at it at the time. And so the search times were just crazy. And yeah, so I would never look at Dota the same. I just see a Warcraft 3 pro player say played people from Dota and say the same thing. Easy. I mean, literally speaking, I mean, let's be real. Okay, I'm not sitting there saying that MOBAs aren't difficult to play. Like, I mean, like in general, like in terms of like, if you look at it from a genre perspective, MOBA isn't an easy thing. But let's be honest, no MOBA is more difficult than playing an RTS. Like, no MOBA out there is more difficult than like, let's say, being good at Dota is not as difficult as being good at StarCraft 2 or even peak Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. It's just not the same thing because you're literally doing less work. You have less to take care of. I'm not even being like elitist in that aspect. I'm just saying it just kind of is what it is, right? Just like, let's say for an action RPG, like, you know, people who think that like, you know, well, I'm gonna just leave it at that. I mean, you also have things like CS:GO and stuff like that too, as well. It's a hot take. I mean, it's kind of I mean, literally, when you look at what it takes to be like a StarCraft Brew War professional and a Dota 2 professional, it's really not the same level. It's not. It's just not. Like you kind of can't compare the two. Again, I'm not saying it ain't hard. I'm not saying it ain't hard. I'm just saying hard bias. There's a reason why. It has been known that like RTS is like StarCraft was like one of the hardest things to get into. You say hard bias? It's really not really a bias because I actually did play some MOBAs too as well. I had an easier time jumping into MOBA than I ever did any RTS. Granted, I didn't play any of the good MOBAs. I played Heroes of the Storm, which is obviously the joke of the MOBA compared to the others. I get that part of things, but the idea of controlling one hero versus managing an entire base is just a whole different thing.
Son.
Kitty Cat, what's
how we
going
do.
on?
Drop my new beat for these new viewers.
Sheezy out. What is going on?
CJ with
KittyCat23
the
rated my
raid.
stream with 28 views.
Was it CJ? Wait, hold up. Who was it? Oh, Kitty Cat. I'm sorry. Appreciate the raid. Appreciate the raid. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a trip. No, I'm saying. He said, yeah, but you played Warcraft 3 sweater. Did you ever get sweated in WoW? You can just ask Grubby. Ask Grubby. Ask Grubby. Ask Day 9. Ask some of those guys who have played at a high level in both genres, and they will tell you. You don't have to ask me. Ask Grubby. Like Grubby streams almost daily. Go on the stream and ask him. He actually plays more Dota now than he does Warcraft 3, but ask him. He'll tell you. It's really not necessarily a bias. It's just more so of like literally like but I think I'm not trying to like insult anyone by saying it's easy, because I'm not saying it's not that MOBA isn't easy, but I think that's kind of where the you know, where some people might be getting at is like, oh, was, you know, no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying MOBAs aren't easy. I'm just saying like RTS is like one of the hardest genres to get good at out of most of the genres that exist. And that's just a kind of a known thing amongst esports. If you like ever been in esports before, like they'll tell you, like, you know, like fighting games is extremely difficult. RTSs are extremely difficult. Like they will tell you. Like most people who are in esports, if you've ever been there, you ever played in that level, and you got a chance to talk to these guys about it, they have high respect for RTS players because they know how difficult that is. I'm not saying that they don't have respect for MOBAs, but there's kind of like a level of, damn, you play Brew War, like you're a pro in Brew War. Like there's a, obviously I never was a pro at Brew War. I'm nowhere near, but like there is a level of respect that pro Brew War players would get that most other genres just would not, naturally, because they know how difficult of a game that is. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like that is, but people know. Like people just know. My fighting games, me Tekken. Yeah, well, yeah. You know, yeah. Tekken, some of the older Street Fighter games. Hint, older Street Fighter games. So. So that's all. That's literally all I'm saying. I'm not saying that teamwork in MOBA isn't hard. I'm not diminishing one genre compared to another. I'm just, I guess the whole argument kind of started. Not the argument, sorry, let me phrase that. The whole thing kind of started when I mentioned Warcraft 3 and the Dota scene and kind of how that came about. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, Dota was literally a watered down Warcraft 3. I'm not even like being in anything. It, you know, at its base level, Dota was strip the strategy part of it, strip the managing of the bases, and you micro a hero on a single map. And it's still strategy, don't get me wrong, but you had a lot less to be responsible for than the actual game itself. That's true. Like literally, that's true. Can you be really good at it? Oh, absolutely. Not saying you couldn't have been, but but there was a reason why it blew up in popularity, and it's because it was easier to get into. Like it definitely had a much lower, I said much lower, a lower entry of, you know, a barrier of entry for people who just want to enjoy something fun. People don't like getting destroyed in one-on-one and Warcraft 3 ladder by people who can micromanage a demon hunter and mana burn them to death with you know, boost of speed or whatever, and they can't sit there and do anything, right? Whereas in like, you know, like a MOBA, at least you have somewhat of a chance early on before you get destroyed by someone who knows what they're doing. or by a team that knows what they're doing. I put it that way. The original Dota, by the way. I'm not talking about like current Dota 2 or anything like that, but the original Dota. So yeah, like I said, I admit I definitely had, you know, I was upset, and I was part of the toxic crew at the time that, you know, denounced Dota when it first came out. But because of that, I would never bother with Dota. Like I will play League of Legends before I play Dota at any term. Warcraft 4, we're being at the golden age, the golden age of RTS back to glory. I really wish they would work on a Warcraft 4, honestly. Josh B said, yeah, it's crazy. At competition level, yeah, well, it's a fair point. That's why RTS died out, because it's hard to adapt and there weren't too many genres back then and new players just didn't have time. Well, yeah, that's true. That's very true. You know, it's a genre that has an extremely high barrier, you know, learning curve. That's the reason why, like you look at Warcraft 3 now, obviously, the very few people who still play it, you know, they play it, but like new people aren't going to get into that because you can't. Like, it's not new player friendly at all. Like StarCraft Brew War is not new player friendly at all whatsoever. Like, you can't just get into it as a new player. Doesn't matter what genre you come from. You can be a CSGO pro and you would not be able to hack it. And today's Brew War StarCraft, you just can't. It's like, how do I put it? Like, and also kind of the same thing other way too as well. Obviously, you can't just jump into, you know, CSGO by any means. But point being is that like it's you know, like the casual scene of RTS is dead because it's a genre that's just, it's very difficult to be good at and have fun in. Keyword have fun, because it's not fun getting demolished. You know, getting worker rushed by someone who just knows the matchup really well on a map and like literally just destroys you with their workers, and you're just trying to play the game and you have no idea. It's like demoralizing. Like, imagine, you know, like literally imagine getting beat up by one Marine because he knows what he's doing with some workers, right? Like, and you're a newer player. Like, that's just demoralizing. People aren't going to play anymore past that point. Right? I mean, you're still trying to get your workers to click on the, you know, minerals or whatever. So yeah, I'm not surprised that, you know, RTS is kind of like, you know, died out because, well, it's not player friendly. It's not player friendly. It really isn't. What about 4X games like Civilization? I never got into Civilization. Grubby did, but I was more into the faster paced RTSs, to be honest with you. Civilization was a little slower pace for my liking. I was more about the micro than I was about the macro, even though, as stupid as that sounds, for me, I played Zerg, which was literally more about the macro than micro. But in Warcraft 3, I played Orc, which was definitely about the micro and not as much about the macro part of things. So, interesting that I literally played in StarCraft 2. I chose to play the race that literally was the opposite of what I would normally like to play. Like, the hardest thing you ever try to play is Rocket League. Oh, man, I feel like I got into that too late. When that came out, I was so involved in other things, I couldn't really give it a try. But I love watching Rocket League though. I love watching like really good players play Rocket League. It's like insane. How am I proccing Bane the trap without strafing on time? Throw the hunt? Yeah, throw the hunt. My spinder's slow. So I'd rather get a bigger bonus from Zays and keep up my shields than to strafe through them and lose my shields. Twiggy says I'm a trip. Kazagard. Yeah. But I think the thing is to Kazagar and Horsey Mosey, I think it's because of the games I may have played, you know, semi-serious or seriously in the past, is why I have a hard time like taking like action RPG elitism seriously, because it's action RPG. You know what I mean? Like when you kind of saw some of that like ego kind of floating, is more so you see it in Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 than you do like the Diablo games. Although it is there in the Diablo games too, but you see it because, you know, a bit more in Path of Exile because, you know, their game is harder than the other action RPGs. But it's just, for me, it's just like, bro, it's still an action RPG. Like legit, the gameplay is mostly determined and depicted by RNG. Not saying you can't be good at an action RPG, because you absolutely can, but like, let's not kid ourselves in terms of like, you know, like, you know, this whole I'm holier than thou attitude, or I'm better than attitude. Is D3 CC based like D4? No. Nope. Well, at least nowhere near the extent of D4. And it's much easier to kind of just like add more mobs and stuff when some at least become like CC immune, but you don't have like crazy damage bonuses based around CC in Diablo 3 in a sense. You have a couple of things where it's kind of like, okay, it's that way in a sense, but like your damage just doesn't completely plummet if you can't CC a mob or something. What do you think about Blizzard letting other blatant ballers on the leaderboard slide in D3?
Shut up and take my money.
Charles Wolf Rancorn
Charles
will
Wolf with
cheer
the-
Dex 100.
With the cheers. Appreciate you, sir. Games are going to always have issues combating botters and cheaters. In action RPGs, you're going to always have that problem. Unfortunately. D3 is less equipped to handle it technology-wise, but they're not going to sit there and like, you know, kind of put forth the manpower to chase botters and cheaters at the moment. They do every now and then. They do like ban waves or whatever, but especially right now with the game kind of, you know, with D3 being, you know, on maintenance mode, you know, they really don't have the resources to kind of combat that now.
Shut up and take my money.
Well, why?
Charles Wolf
Know what I mean?
Rancorn will cheer Dex 100.
Charles with another cheer. Appreciate you, man. So, I mean, I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't like it. I don't think anyone that plays legit likes that, right? But at this point, I mean, it's just kind of is what it is. And you just don't really pay attention to it, I guess. I mean, yeah, but like, yeah, every game that has a competitive element between players is going to have cheaters in some way, shape, or form. There is not a single game that has a competitive element with a leaderboard attached or anything that has 100% legit play. It just doesn't really exist. Sadly, it just doesn't exist. If it's the bounty in Act 5, that's immune to code.
Shut up and take my money.
Jerry,
Charles
yeah,
Wolfgang
Gert.
Cornwall cheered X 300.
Oh, Fred. Appreciate the additional cheers. But yeah, is it Gert? Is it Gert? I don't think I've ever like pronounced your name correctly in the past. But yes, there is that one bounty. There is that one mob who's immune to code damage. I actually forgot. I think that was just almost like a payback to like D2, right? Because you know how elemental immune mobs or whatever. So I think they probably just did that out of spite and just like, you guys want that back? Here you go. We're gonna give you this one bounty, right?
Shut up and take my money.
Charles Wolfgang Cornwall cheered X 800.
Does CS upsets you now? How come? Twiggy.
You have a gem? I may be able to help you.
It feels easiest for you. It's so funny when someone doesn't know and they don't get why they can't kill it. I know, right? At least you're on the phone and Xbox and you started talking about scam games and well, the cheater problem is the industry wide. It's kind of a killing a few genres, at least in action RPG. Actually, does not negatively impact the game like in, let's say, first-person shooters. The amount of cheating going on right now and FPSs right now is absolutely insane. It makes it hard to kind of get into or to want to get into in like a serious manner. Obviously not like, pro level serious, but serious enough where you care about your stats serious, right? With the amount of cheaters that are like present. It's so bad right now. Blizzard's now working on WoW too. People who write MMO. Are they really? I mean, honestly, the only thing they have to do is to compete with Riot MMO is just re-release WoW Classic again, and just sell it. That's all they gotta do. Like making anything new is gonna be out of the question because you know it's not gonna be good. All I gotta do is just re-release WoW Classic again. That's it. And people will shell out money for that for that project again.
I am returning to town.
I mean, they announced WoW last raise. Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't pay much attention to World of Warcraft, so I don't know. I honestly don't know why they did. He said, "Don't they have WoW Classic?" Yeah, that's why I said re-release, right? You know how they like a re-release of WoW Classic? Just do it again. You know, maybe add like a couple of new cosmetics or whatever, and then you know ship it. There you go. Ship it at the same time as Riot's MMO. That's Blizzard's best chance. And I'm like kind of like, I know I'm being silly, but I'm honestly like only partially joking here. Like I'm only halfway joking. It probably is Blizzard's best chance. A WoW 2 ain't gonna cut it. Let's be honest. I should get a shoulder at some point. I feel bad for like leaving it there. Where they gonna farm the starter from? Oh, you mean all the WoW Classic players are gonna get old and pass away one day? Then finally WoW Classic suddenly won't work anymore. I mean, I guess that's a good point. But until then, I mean, you know, why not milk it, I guess.
You look like you could use a new what? I didn't even know I had that thing.
I will say our life expectancy is, you know, has been slightly better than it has been like 30 years ago, roughly. I know WoW isn't that old, but you know what I'm saying. They'll pass away, but you know, they still got a little while before they actually like really kick the bucket. Just finished watching the video of Brute War. Interesting game, man. Brute War. So here's the thing. Yeah, I know like avid Brute War players hate when I say this, but they know it's the truth. And like the players, you know, I'd say about 40% of playing Brute War is learning how to deal with the UI. Because the UI is so out of date. It's so out of date that learning how to deal with the out of date and oftentimes buggy UI is like 40% of the game. So you can be really good at the race that you play. You can know the maps inside out. You can know the build orders and structures and everything. Know all the strats on every map versus the races you play. And if you do not know how to deal with the UI in the efficient way, you will never win a match. You would never win. And so StarCraft 2 actually did a fantastic job of making the UI digestible. And so a lot of the Brute War pros, you know, didn't, you know, kind of thought that was kind of watering down the game. I mean, they did have some points on some cases where like some things were a little, you know, they did kind of make some things a little easier to manage or do or whatever like that. But like the pros were just so used to having to fight the UI that having a UI that makes sense and is simple and does what it's supposed to do, like basically detoured away or detoured a chunk of like Brute Wars professionals for the most part, right? And already StarCraft is a really hard game, so like imagine like, you know, the pros saying, oh, StarCraft 2 is too easy, even though StarCraft 2 was still considered a ridiculously hard game to get into. But which actually kind of prompted Blizzard to add more micromanageable units in Legacy of the Void and stuff to try to like pull those guys over in a sense. It didn't work, but they tried. They absolutely tried. One last raid on Deathbed. On Deathbed. No game after the first version will ever surpass the previous one. That's generally the philosophy, basically. Hey bro, how you hope you feel better? Any D4 action on the horizon? Since this was gonna be a short stream, I just kind of wanted to jump right into some D3 because I didn't play D3 last stream. But next stream I will play some D4 and then I'll play some D3. I'm gonna like rotate between the two games each stream until Monster Hunter Wilds comes out, and then when that comes out, it'll probably be the majority of Monster Hunter Wilds until something new kicks in to D4, whether it's a mid-season patch or whatnot, or a PTR. I'll jump back in for that kind of thing. So for the next 2 weeks, it'll be D4, D3. I'll take Diablo 1 and raid you Diablo 2. Interestingly enough, I mean, yeah. But it took a bit for Diablo 2 to get there. Because keep in mind, Diablo 1 didn't get updates. So it's kind of like not fair. You know what I mean? Like, Diablo 2 wasn't good out the gate. You know what I mean? Like, Diablo 1 was good kind of like out the gate. It didn't really receive a lot of updates. Because, you know, old game, you know, the technology to be able to patch games was like almost non-existent, right? So you just didn't do that to games at that time. But you know, D2 had several updates, and it took, you know, its LOD expansion before it became the legend that it is today. But it certainly didn't start out that way, whereas Diablo 1 started out legendary. It just never got any updates, so, or any significant updates, I guess you could say. It's happy to hear about Monster Hunter Wilds gameplay. Yo, when I was watching like the people who did play, like who were able to capture footage and stuff, the game looks so good. Like, way better than what we're playing in the beta, which makes sense. The beta's like, the beta version, the beta, like, you know, itself as version is like almost a year, probably a little over a year old. Because, you know, they have to, like, you know, make a client for the beta, so they have to stop updating, you know, that client. So but they have to start that client and make a client for a beta, which means that it's not going to have anything of the new stuff. And it's just about a good 6 or 7 months to make a beta client for most games. So before you even play a beta, that client is already like multiple months old. Play quite a bit of D3, but graphics looks like Mario Brothers compared to D4 now. Are you crazy? What? No, it's just that. Here's the thing. So the art team went in the direction of kind of like a painted canvas look. Is what they went for in Diablo 3. and it's an art style that's closer resemblance to World of Warcraft, which was what was selling really good at the time. So the team kind of took that approach because it's like, oh well, WoW's making a lot of money, so, and they have a pretty like, you know, canvas paintings type style of arts. We can kind of apply to D4 and make money too. It's the thought process, right? Obviously, it doesn't really fit with the theme of Diablo itself. But honestly, this art style in any other action RPG game that wasn't Diablo, I think would have worked just fine. It's just that Diablo wasn't built, you know, or you know, its vibe wasn't, you know, built upon more of a I don't want to say cartoony, but like more of a colorful atmosphere per se. I actually don't think the graphics itself is bad. It just doesn't. People didn't like it because it wasn't Diablo. It didn't feel like Diablo. But if this game was named anything but Diablo 3, I think people would have been just fine with the graphics at the time. Because it's actually not. The game itself doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look like Diablo. Which is a valid complaint. Like that's a valid complaint to have. Both of these rings suck. Am I able to give a quick season 7 D4 review? What do you like? The whole thing, or like what do you want to know? Like the theme? You want to know all the class changes, the quality of life things, like, oh, my thoughts. Okay. I think the season theme is actually kind of cool. I do like the season theme. I think the longevity they tried to enter into the game was actually a good thing, even though I think some people might think that the grind was too long for some of the things, but the game doesn't really have a long grind, so it was kind of refreshing to have something to grind for, in my opinion. So quite a few quality of life changes that were good. The season theme was actually pretty good. Witch Tide was actually fun. A lot of the class changes were definitely received in a positive manner. Most of the class changes. The negatives are basically they didn't do anything to give you any sort of vertical progression. So you're kind of playing the same exact what do you call it? You're playing the exact same state of the in-game content as you did in season 6. So once all the novelty wears off of the new skill, not new skills, but like the new changes and new items and the season theme after being kind of cool, once you play the content again and realize nothing's changed, you feel a certain kind of way, obviously. So yeah. You said the progression was so quick, people were done in a week. Yeah, pretty much. People talking about how hard PoE is. I can remember playing Monster Hunter my first time. I would say systems wise, I would probably say PoE is probably a little harder to get into, like the original PoE, not PoE 2. Playing the game Monster Hunter is definitely harder to get into. a 150 was done in 2 days. Yeah, Bloodwave Necro was, ironically enough, this is the first time where we had a class or a skill, a build like so powerful that wasn't bugged, which is wild. Obviously, that shouldn't have been able to happen, but it somehow made it past the PTR. And it's not bugged. It's actually performing the way it's supposed to, which is kind of the craziest thing ever. Like, you know, it's somewhat understandable if something was bugged and they're doing things. You know, a class or a build is doing something it's not supposed to be doing or whatever. You have the, you know, chance or ability to nerf something or change something or fix the bugs or whatever. But you can't really fix the Necro thing because everything that the Necro has is intended. Nothing was bugged about what they're doing. So it's literally just vastly overtuned. So it wasn't like, oh, we didn't see this or we didn't catch the bug or whatever. It's like, oh, you knew, but you did nothing about it. And yeah, well, good luck. You know, it's just like, that's wild. So at that point, you know, what do you do? Like, you know, do you nerf? Like a bug fix is understandable-ish, but like Necro isn't bugged. So do you just nerf it? Like, but then you let Spiritborn, this buggy mess, last an entire season. You know what I mean? Like, it's just some kind of, you know, it's there. Yeah, you just, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say is just, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of put themselves in a interesting predicament that they could have avoided on multiple fronts. It's just, yeah. Can I explain what Echoing Fury does? It gives me a attack speed and movement speed. But the biggest reason why I'm using Echoing Fury is mainly because of the damage. Like a mace is just more raw damage than the dagger by a significant amount. So as long as it's a melee weapon, I still get the shadows bonus or whatever. But I also get movement speed, which in this build itself, Strafe and Pale has pretty awful movement speed. So the Echoing Fury is actually, you know, movement speed is actually quite nice. The attack speed isn't really helping you too much unless you do a lot of strafe weaving, which a lot of players don't do, but I do. But just the raw damage bonus and also the movement speed just makes it a very fluid farmer that hits really hard. But you have other options like the dagger, or you have Engium as well if you want to play it that way too as well. But the Echoing Fury kind of gives you, if you take into account that you don't have, you know, full uptime on Vengeance, it's still like the hardest hitting option, I guess you could say. But it's also pretty dangerous because, again, you don't have full uptime on Vengeance. So it's more so like the try hard option that isn't really necessary at all, but I like it. Now, sometimes I actually did do this for a push if I can kill fast enough, and I did it with like fire. But that's also like a very ultra try hard thing that you don't necessarily have to do. But I've done it before for leaderboard pushes. Bro, I hit every dead end. Is it the top right? It's top right, isn't it? It is top right, I bet. No, it's not. Okay. I played this UE this season? Nah, I like literally just started this season. Like, you know, I've only been playing like 3 days so far. I will play UE for pushing. UE for pushing, Shadow for pushing, and that's kind of it for Demon Hunter. All right, Twiggy, you have a good night, man. Aren't you too squishy without permanent vengeance? Well, you've been watching me play this entire time, right? Like I haven't had permanent vengeance since you've tuned into the stream. But yes, you are very squishy without permanent vengeance. But if you notice the way I play kind of far back anyway. I don't run through the mobs because I want to keep my Zay's bonus up too and my steady aim bonus up too for all the maximum buffs. So because I'm not like running into trouble on purpose, I'm usually able to stay alive when vengeance is down. And also well-placed freezing bolus to freeze them before they attack also helps too as well. It's one I put this way. It's a setup that you have to pay attention. So if you want to like live, which is why it's not a popular go-to. But I did a whole video on this like a couple of years back when this season was out.
I need to go back.
The best class builder just left Blizzard, so your hopes are not up. You mean Adam Jackson? Adam Jackson is a, you know, really good talent. I was really sad to see him go. But I will say not all hopes is lost. There are also some also really talented people that actually do blast or play the game. For instance, Leviathan, for those who may not know who that is. For those who know that name, you know what I'm talking about. Like, he's on that team of stuff. And if you know him, you know that's a trusted name because he's a blaster. He gets it. In fact, one of the more well-known blasters of his day. Still, though, I will miss Adam Jackson, though. I thoroughly enjoyed our talks that didn't have to deal with Diablo. Because he's like into some like really, really cool things. You missed D3 die. What possible secret title could be working on, right? I don't know if he's working on an action like a Riot action RPG or is he working on a Riot MMO. I don't know. It's one of those games, Warcraft 3. Man, I would hope so. Or Warcraft 4. I don't know. That's a new season. I gotta walk all the way around. It's awkward. Care about any of those? Get to 110.
I am returning to town.
Should have ported. Right, would make good use of his talent. I mean, who knows, man? Like, Riot is also a big company now. I mean, we'll see. I don't really have much trust in like big companies at the moment because obviously they're beholden to their shareholders. So honestly, it just depends on whether you have, you know, shareholders that actually care about the game, which obviously there's no such thing exists. So I just don't really have much trust for any really big company to do anything, you know, right by the player base.
You look like you could use it. Wow, isn't that nice? See you soon.
Kind of need to gamble for a Wraps of Clarity, honestly, so I can go Guardians. Although I think Cataclysm makes more sense here, though, only because of the fact that I'm using Echoing Fury and I don't have permanent vision, so having more cooldown reduction actually makes sense. But Guardians is also really, really good. So,
My father was a great man. Until I didn't
oh, but not gloves,
that thing.
bracers.
That will look nice on
There we go. Got a couple. Seeing the Rift Guardian reminded me that Bilal is CC immune, so you can't proc cold a week or immune to slow free, something like that. Which you can't. No, yeah, you can't proc. Yeah, on Bilal you can now. I actually enjoyed the Bilal fight. Like when I first fought him in like vanilla, man, he was like, it was actually a really cool fight. I enjoyed it. Wait. These are better pants. Guess we can swap that to there. There's a bracer. I'm blind. It became regular mobs after all the power creep, yeah. I mean, we see that in D4 as well. That's why I'm like, when people ask, oh, we should get this boss, right? You know, Mephisto should be in the rotation. Boss ladder or this boss. I'm like, really? I mean, like, yeah, I get the idea of wanting it, right? But like, if you put him in the current state of the game where literally you like bop him in like a half a second, does it really matter? He ain't gonna do nothing. He ain't gonna get off an attacks or do anything that makes Mephisto Mephisto. So why does it really matter if he's in the game at the moment? At the moment, right? I mean, they managed to make Lilith, which was actually one of the coolest fights in the game, unrewarding now. She's supposed to be like a pinnacle boss. She was actually very challenging initially. Oh well. We're talking about Uber bosses. Oh, you mean in D3? Yeah. Yeah. When it first was a thing, yeah. There's such a pushover now too, though. Hey man, I'm about to go to sleep, but I pray for you, so I expect no pain. Jesus is awesome. I'll see you next time. Thanks, Josh. You have a good one. I wonder if I can do it without wraps. If I can do it with X and pants instead, but that's like trying to be way too ballsy there. I guess we can go back to wolf though. I feel about this. And we'll save the setup. Alright, I did this right. Alright, let's see what I feel now. This is pretty pleasant. Do you take the mistake to reduce items lost from 13 to 10 from D3 to D4? Yeah. I feel like you can't really fit in some kind of cooler aspects or whatever that you kind of would want to, because we're kind of limited in slots. But I guess they wanted those slots to be more meaningful, which I guess makes sense, kind of, but I feel like it just becomes more of a limitation than being, well, meaningful. Yeah, watch out, Das is gonna catch you. Nah. Doubt it. Doubt it, sir. Good thing that none I have guardians, though. I could probably kick it up. A couple more GRs. Just by the way, just by how I'm killing. I'm actually running out of resources. That's how I know I'm not getting my energy back from the dagger or whatever. Meaning it's too low over GR. This. I'm not moving fast enough to really make a difference, so. Do this. Do you think 10 slots choice was to make it easier to balance the game? To be honest, I do not know why they made the choice they did. I can't imagine it really being any easier. I think honestly the 6-piece set is actually easier to balance in D3. So with the 13 slots, 6 pieces are already taken up. And then you add 1 or 2 support slots to support this set that you're playing, and you really technically have less slots in Diablo 3 if you think about it, because half of your gear is taken up by a set. So the way D3 did it was actually easier, although I don't like the idea of sets. So I hope they never come into D4 like that. At least not 6-piece sets. I'd be okay with like maybe a 2-piece set or something, but or 3-piece maybe at max. But if they do that, they're gonna have to give us more slots. The fact that they can't add stashes because of limitations, we just spent too much resources and visuals, leaving no space for actual game. They just use a old, outdated way of being able to code stash in the game, which is why they have a hard time adding more stashes. They did it the same way they did it in Diablo 3. And I don't know if it's just like a cost cutting method they chose to do, and that's why it was done. But it's obviously really sad, considering that you have indie companies that, you know, decide to go a different, you know, to go different routes and can offer considerably more stash space because they did it that way. But for some strange reason, they stuck with the model they had in D3 in terms of how the items and stuff were loaded into the game, and well, yeah. Kind of crazy when you truly think about it. It's just crazy. But in this case scenario, I don't really blame the devs on this one, because if you listen to them respond to questions about stash space, their response is very PR heavy. And they all say the same thing, which leads me to believe it has nothing to do with them. What is this game? Diablo 3. Do I plan on trying out the Shadow Step build? I don't know if I really have the motivation to grind for those pieces. We'll see. Seems so vivid, yeah. That was one of the complaints about Diablo 3. It's a bit more colorful for a Diablo game, you know. Bright, yeah. Yeah, the 120s actually feel pretty good, considering. My resources definitely hurting without the without Captain Crimson's, but as long as I hit something, I'm mostly good. Hatred on crit. Yeah, what's up? Hey, thanks, man. It'd be fun to see you clear. We do 1 minute clear pit 90s. Yeah, well, I would need godlike gear to do that though. Like, I can't just like get any gear and, you know, sort of master worker to be able to do that. Like what Lexi U showcased was like with really good gear. It took, if you think about how long it took before that video came out compared to other video like build videos, you can tell it took him a good while to be able to get the right pieces to be able to do what he did. It's a very strong speed farmer for sure, but it is not something that you can kind of put together in a day or two, unless you just got, you know, billions, maybe trillions of gold lying around. But it's definitely fun though. Like it's effective in what it's designed to do for sure. We don't need sets in D4. The item is already powering up for the game. I know, right? All the power creep is already there without sets. Sets which is kind of again crazy to think about. I'm not gonna do that. No. I gotta start let's get rid of that. I'm gonna have to organize my stash at some point. It's getting really bad.
You look like you could use a new one. Don't forget, luck always changes. Fortune favors. My father would be proud of you.
Do you think the excitement of the Spiritborn class is worn off so quick? Well, only because Spiritborn is no longer like the strongest class in the game anymore. That's pretty much the reason why. They had an entire season of being incredibly over OP because it was bugged. So now that they're kind of balanced and probably a little on the weaker side compared to where they were, especially relative to the other classes, yeah, you're not going to see many Spiritborn players. Too OP. Everyone played this and now everyone's playing something else. Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of weird to play a class that was, you know, or to again play a class that was OP out of the box, right? For an entire season, and then play it in the state where it's kind of balanced or more balanced, I guess you say. It just kind of feels weird for those players, right? Because it's like all you've known on the Spiritborn was for it to be OP. So when it's not OP, is you know, people it feels different. But that's because they, you know, let Spiritborn be OP for an entire season. So that's the, you know, the drawback, the repercussions of that decision, that choice.
I'm still waiting. Your fear betrays you. You must wait longer.
I was having a tough time killing that elite. That's weird. Yeah. Kind of losing my squares buff a bit too much, which is why they're lasting a little longer on the 120. So 120 might be maybe just a little out of my range still. Until I get some augments. Any augments really, because I have none. Oh, not bad. 2.5 minutes is not terrible. Heinsberg was on. What's going on?
What do you need?
D4 bad, D3 good.
I must wait longer.
Shielding.
I must wait longer.
Play with the leg glasses on. Get that straight.
I wish I could do that. The Rift Guardian has arrived. Still waiting.
Harrison, what's going on? Also, Bloodmaster, what's happening? Is it back to the old stubborn ground, the spin the wind machine? Oh no, I'm definitely like ultra casual, man. I am not in glory day form in terms of blasting.
I need to go back.
I'm just revisiting a season that I found fun to play. I'm gonna do a couple of pushes on sets that I like, and then that'll be it for me for D3. But because I'm doing it casually, it's gonna take me about a couple of, maybe about a week-ish, week and a half-ish or whatever before I do both of those pushes. We'll do another run with the glasses on. Good always carry for a few Paragon. It'd be nice to actually kind of be able to unlock the higher GRs, so I don't have to, like, you know, grind the whatchamacallits. We'll see though. Are you on my Discord? Send me a DM for in the future. Yeah, we'll set up a ZDH. I have been saving pieces or saving up pieces for that. it's been a while that I have not seen a primal yet. Like almost all my Paragon has been pretty much solo. With the exception of like the pyro level. That got me to like 100 and something Paragon, I think it was. Was it 200? But past that point it's been like solo Paragoning. And I have not seen a single primal drop other than like the one from like the level 70. Sorry, the GR70. Kind of cool though, because it's like, yeah, nice to see things kind of rare, or feel rare, I guess. I guess we could stay here. 2.5 minutes isn't too bad.
Can't carry it all. I am returning to town.
I see you kill the mom. I mean, I might as well hop over to that ring. It's not ideal, but still better than what I have.
Fortune favors. That will look nice on you. See you
I'm
soon.
overburdened.
You look like you could use it. Do come back again. See you soon. Fortune favors. Ooh, that's nice.
I cannot afford
Can
that.
I have it back?
No, I can't use that quiver. The gambling quiver life of a demon hunter. We just need to get damage, I guess. I mean, crit chance, really. Easy peasy. Salvage that since this is just a better one. That's it. Grind continues. Oh, wrong way. I have to start doing some Echohack nightmares soon, so I can actually start getting I thought I have like good equipment to really augment anyway, but gotta have some pieces to augment than none. Probably should be gambling. Well, I still need a better quiver though, so I'm still gonna keep gambling quivers. Just need to get lucky on the other drops. Ooh, that hurt. Shooting. No, it's conduit. What I say shooting for? Okay. The clear times are like pretty consistent, so this is
I'm here to help.
mostly okay.
I am returning to town. Well satisfied.
Soup 909, what's up? We got to computer face pure beam by flying lotus. It'd be kind of hard to do that on YouTube though. Because then you guys wouldn't be able to hear it. Otherwise, I'll get copyright stricken. Like, you have to kind of go like be on Twitch for that. Because Twitch is a little bit more lenient when it comes to stuff like that. YouTube though. Not copyright. Are you sure?
My pack is full.
To react to it was fine. Something tells me that like either he turned his monetization settings off for that, or he did get stricken for it, but he's sharing the proceeds with the owner, the label, or whoever is like in charge. YouTube. So like it's never kind of like I don't know. I'll put it this way, it ain't free.
I need to go back.
Godar, what's going on? Currently trying to see how well LFD Dar switch that there is missing. Missing quite a few inches still. I like the build. I like darts, honestly. I never really spent a lot of time really playing it though. I did it like for a very short period of time. Really short period of time.
I am returning to town.
They're back on D3. It's a good season 3. So I chose to. I wasn't going to because I wasn't able to play it during opening weekend, so I wasn't able to do my like rank 1 clears or whatever that I tend to go for first like week or whatever. But then Woody Joe kind of convinced me to just go ahead and jump in anyways and play. So I've been very casual about it. I will do some pushes though once I actually get stuff. But it is one of those things where I'm doing it like casually.
You look like you could use a new item of. Ooh, that's nice.
But I believe you, Soup, that is his fire song. Do you know if that song is in it's like on Spotify by any chance?
Favors the bold. Do come back
I'll make him look for that on Spotify for like my playlists in general.
You look like you could use a
Where he's just casually getting.
I cannot afford.
Oh no, Woody was not casual. Dude put off how many hours his first stream grinding that? Far from casual. Now he may not be as serious as he normally would be, but he did play like he was like grinding because he was playing in a group with North War in them, and they were not like, if he was spending too much time in town, they let him know. Like they were very his party was serious, I'll put it that way. But casual in the sense that he didn't play long, yeah. Like in terms of like days or whatever, but his first, like the first weekend, he put in some serious hours. It's a Vedic attack, appreciate the follow. Standard 30 plus hour streams, yeah. Right. Last one base this season managed a 3-minute 150 without a conduit, so hopefully we can get that magic one wrap Matt Riff. Nice. Am I feeling better? Nah, not really. I'm gonna need to see a doctor at some point next week or this week, depending on where you are in the world. Well, it's Sunday for me now, so I guess this week. Was nothing serious? Well, I'm hoping so too, but it's been my lower back, lower right back that's been causing a lot of issues in the past month, like consistently in pain. Like, at least that's what it feels like. And the chronic nerve pain I'm still experiencing from the hernia surgery. It's still there, but I mean, I can't really do anything about that. But the fact that my lower back is now hurting consistently, and I don't think I did anything to pull it or whatnot, because I would know. Like, I would know if I did something, and then like my back just started hurting out of nowhere, or started hurting because of it. But that wasn't the case at all. So, guess I'm gonna go get that checked out, see what it is. It is a constant lower back sprains, but I was lucky to finally heal. What happened for it to heal, or what'd you end up doing? Physical therapy, chiro, and acupuncture. Does your insurance cover acupuncture? Just out of curiosity. Does your insurance cover acupuncture? Or did your insurance cover acupuncture? It did? Oh, wow, okay. Because that's something I was going to have to try for my nerve pain, and my insurance doesn't cover it. So I was like, well, kind of rip that. Blood Master.
I need to go back. My training has paid off. I really must wait longer.
Been playing Rogue and D4 season. Your death trap having modified my own for speed farming and wonder pits. So I wouldn't say it's yeah. I'm not responsible for the death trap build on Maxroll. I don't even have a personal planner for it because I don't technically like death trap in general as a skill. I guess a preference. Not anything. There's anything wrong with it. Just don't like the way it plays. But I think it was Mippy was the author. So you can totally thank him for that.
Let's see what we can do.
I am returning to town.
To remind myself not to salvage any ZDH gear. I got most of this. I got most stuff. I already got it. I'm so glad I picked up Boiler's playlist into this. House trance basically is what this is.
You look like you could use a new. Well, isn't that nice? What a
My pack is
steal.
full.
Fortune fade, do come back again. Ooh, that's nice. Can I have it back? What a steal.
That is too expensive. I must wait longer.
Too, but the trap is so fast and furious compared to. I would say for the outer world, yeah, for sure. Like T4 farming, yeah, Death Trap makes a lot more sense. There, you know, waiting for the rain to kind of like, you know, do its wave and stuff like that. Does take time. That doesn't feel nearly as good in like the open world farming. Yeah, and that's just kind of how it is this season, unfortunately. There really isn't much we could really do about that for random rails, just especially with the addition of, you know, Dance Macro, you know, Dance Macabre, whoops. You know, having to be a thing and activating that, as well as just the fact of the matter of how we stack precision and all that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. But I like it for Inferno Horrors and Pits when you don't have to backtrack and pick up things after a wave kill or something. You can just fire your wave and just go. So like it feels it still feels speedy in Pits, and then also in Inferno Horrors because you're not having to wait to pick up stuff. All the killing is done off screen, basically.
I must wait longer.
What do you need?
Oh, it's a 1%. Oh, I did that.
I am returning to town.
A 2%. That was totally not worth.
My training has paid off. I must wait longer.
I think tomorrow I'll do some Echoing Nightmares and get some augments. So I can beef up my power a bit. Should give me about maybe like another 5 GRs worth of farming power, I guess. Guess I just started doing
I am returning to town.
augment gems, I guess now. I mean, basically all 3 of these are gonna be used for UE as well. The legendary gems, so. Your jam. What season? What's the season of E3? Sanctified Powers. Yeah, it's definitely one of the better seasons, for sure. Or one of the best seasons, I'll put it that way. Top 2, top 3.
I'm overburdened. I am returning to
24%. Looks like I won't get any better than that for a while.
You look like you could use a new. I didn't even know I had that thing.
I can't carry anymore.
Fortune favor. Do come back again. That will look nice on you. You look like you could use a
Kind
new
of did a few of it with Hex and Pants, just for shits and giggles.
Fortune favor.
Remember now?
Gold.
I'm too lazy to get through the entire game again. I understand. See how I feel about this. I think I'm gonna die a lot, but we'll see. I'm only getting like maybe like 21% more damage, like a GR. For going Hex and Pants, but losing like so much toughness for it though. This is like ultra glass cannon. I'm sure. Oh, I was gonna say. I'm surviving some hits until that happened. When strafing this build, do you still incorporate Impale in the rotation or just let the strafe blast? I incorporate Impale into it because I'm running with Echo and Flurry, so my attack speed is actually quite nuts, which drains my hatred a lot, but it means I can actually throw in extra Impales as I'm strafing with the strafe waving part of it, so I can squeak out a little bit more DPS by doing it that way, but you don't have to. It's just kind of something I choose to do.
You have a gem.
I am returning.
And my gym sucked as well. I got a lot to do. Let's make a little switch here just cause. Let's see how I feel. I play more further back doing it this way though. My clear is not as good, but my elite kills are definitely a bit faster this way, but oh, come on. Come on. Yeah. When you start rerolling for Anxious with Mats? You like rerolling? I mean, I pretty much reroll any piece of gear at this point. But do you mean like augment or anything? Is that what you mean? Or are you talking about like reforging in general? Reforging? Oh, okay. I don't know, honestly. I guess if I literally just cannot find a decent ancient, then I will do it. But since I'm still in the farming stages, I don't want to re-roll for ancients when I might actually get like a decent drop still, because my gear is still kind of bad. So like I'm probably sure I'm gonna have to re-roll my rings, because getting a good focus and restraint ancient is very hard to do. Okay, so unknowingly Reddit was up. I felt like that was a bad run, but according to time, that actually really wasn't. But you totally gotta play fire differently than you do lightning, though. But I understood that because I did fire for a long time when I played this season, and then I did lightning towards the end of it, but for speed farming. Wow, that hurt. Oops. Do one floor clear. I can do this floor clear, can I? There's gotta be at least a couple more. Yeah, it's enough here.
My pack is full. We need to go back. Will become stronger.
I'm after getting like ancient shadow shoulders. Ancient anything else ain't really. Oh, 85%. Beautiful. So we'll swap the for you here. Yeah, let's then get rid of that.
You look like you could use a new. Well, isn't that nice?
All right, Control Z music. You have a good one.
Luck always changes.
Is it Mary Johnny? Oh, Mary Johnny. Is that how I say it?
Fortune favors. Don't forget, luck always changes.
I can't carry it.
Nice. What's good?
You look like you could use a new. That will look nice on you.
Yeah. Go that route. See how I feel. Ow.
Still waiting. No.
Better gear will come soon. Just play better until then.
You won't survive that. Need more charge.
Eek. Maybe not.
Still waiting.
Oof. I can't do this affixes without wraps of clarity. I'm being too ballsy here. At least not, well, with the 123, I can't do that. Not yet. Yeah, that was a hard run. Horrid run. I do kind of want to level my gems up a little bit though.
I am returning to town. You have become stronger.
Or extreme. If I can keep up squares, I'll be fine though. That's a shield, nice. Perfect. Say I'm like, whatever, release that. One floor map, nice.
You have a gem?
I am returning to town.
That wasn't too bad. But we'll stick with lightning. Ricochet. This is a good mob type though, but the 122 doesn't feel bad.
I must wait longer.
This. Lost those 60% chances. I guess I'll go for it.
I need to go back. Your truck is so powerful.
I will see a primal eventually. It will happen. It has to happen. Can't get my other powers in the altar until I can get some primals.
Fortune favors the bold. Well, isn't that nice? Don't
My
forget,
pack is full.
luck always changes. Oh, that's nice. Can I have it back? You look like you could use. Don't forget, luck
I
always
can't carry
changes.
anymore.
Drax was going down. What are you doing? Just chilling, honestly. Gotten a little stronger since I started. But honestly, just GRs at the moment. I'm nowhere near like strong enough to kind of do any like other pushes I want to do quite yet. So it'll be a minute. I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish off these GR keys and then I'll call it. I got 8 more left. Prior year, what's going on? It's a D3 in the year 2025. It's a good season. I'm gonna say I kind of got into it like kind of late this season though. Like I started late. So way far behind, but it's alright. I don't mind being pretty casual this time around.
I must wait longer.
Looks like we're kind of at 122s for this. For speed farming.
I am
Wow.
returning to town.
Failed 360%.
Well, my training has paid off.
No, let's see how many whatchamacallit I can craft. My gems are kind of bad right now that I'm wearing. To remove some of these. How many do I have? What can I make this for? Get another oil. 25. Nope, still 4. I might have to like put some stuff over.
I may look small, but I'll hurt you if you try to steal from me.
Okay, I gotta get the gems to do it then. 16 diamonds. That should be enough. Seven, so 1, 2, 3, 26. We'll craft 7. Should be a pretty big upgrade in the dex category, especially with Guardian.
Laura,
Yes?
why do you keep glancing over at Kadala?
Oh, just making sure she isn't up to anything suspicious.
Yeah, that actually feels a lot better now. Moze, man, I appreciate the follow. It's like dancing Nazareth. Hey, what's up, man? I mean, you can kind of tell where Dancing Naz came from, if that makes sense.
I am returning to town. Where is more control now?
Dang, 72 Paragon points out in this spin. Yeah. Shielding. I know it's gonna happen. There's so much lightning in a small space. I wasn't gonna be able to dodge them all. Okay, now that is that one of those. It's one of those unfortunate situations. We'll be back on track. Power and Conduit side by side.
My pack is full.
Let's see the gem.
I need to go back.
Fortune favors. Ooh, that's nice. Can I have it back?
I'm overburdened.
You look like you could come back again. What? I didn't even know I had that thing. That will look
That is
nice
too
on
expensive.
you.
Would it be one floor on my map again?
I must wait long.
I'm not crazy about the mob type here for speeds.
I must wait longer.
I might actually stick just to the 120s until I actually like decide to put Reps of Clarity in the queue. It's like 90% of situations I'm fine with, but it's that 10% that gets a little weird. Like that, when there's too much lightning on the screen, I can't do anything without Reps. I think I'll make this my last one now. I got five greater rift keys left anyways.
Not ready yet.
That being said, though, we didn't get any good ancient gear though. Not a single one. The 4 hours of playtime. Oh, I somehow got stuck. I couldn't move. Jeez, man. I felt so many 60% tonight. What is up with that? I'm holding on to those goons though, for possibly for ZDH. Your jam. This is one of my jams. No, we didn't do too bad tonight then. Where did we start? It was like in the 800s, I think. Paragon 800 or something, I think it was. Something like that. Alright. So I still got augment a bunch of stuff. Only got like a few good pieces to actually augment it. And do these 2, 3, 4. Not worth augmenting. So yeah, for like 4 pieces. That'd be like, all right, cool. Not there yet. All right, so who do we go to? I'm not sure. I'll read in the D3 category. I'll probably just go to a friend. But J-Mac. Is it an NGM? So I'm looking for. It'll probably end up being probably thinking about doing Sal Kittens. Kittens. Yeah, that's the play. We're gonna go Sal Kittens. I think you guys will like Sal Kittens. She's actually really cool. There you go. Like everybody's doing collab or collab streams tonight. There's a collaborating with other collaborators who collaborated with the other person they collaborated with. they may have collaborated with in the past. Anyhow, appreciate you guys chilling here. Mostly chill stream. I didn't really say much towards like the back half of it, but it was fun nonetheless. But we will do some D4 the next stream as well as D3 on the back end of it, because again, I do want to slowly get to my stuff and do some pushing and things, because I do enjoy the season theme. But enjoy Soul Kittens, and as always, till next time.